Greetings of the day, everyone, and welcome to the third chapter of CSR. And today we are going to learn about various models under CSR. Now, with regards to the models of CSR, we have the Western concept of CSR, the Western models, and the Indian models of CSR. So, firstly, we'll look into the Western models as these are one of the older models. So, first model is the Friedman model. Milton Friedman was an economist and he always believed that for a business, the main aim and the main attention is always on the profit. Now, in his model, which is also known as the Friedman models, he says that the way businessmen take care of making profits, the same sort of energy should be given when the businessman is doing a social deed, which is coming out of a moral duty. Therefore, he also says that a businessman has no other social responsibility except to his shareholder. So, during being one of the most earlier definitions of CSR when it was not that developed, this model of CSR solely or mostly focuses on shareholders and the stakeholders. The next model is known as the Ackermans model. According to this model, the main focus was given on the policies and the goals which the company should set. Now, according to this model, there are 4 stages of CSR. The first stage of CSR is to know the problem or to look into the problems which are actually happening in the society. Second stage is to hire experts which can give suggestions with regards to this problem. Thirdly, to take up the project or to start a project, and then finally to address the situation or to actually get into the field and do the project. Now let's look into a case study. We are going to learn today about the case study of this huge company, apparel company called Levi's. Now Levi's have a lot of their factories in most of the developing or the third world countries. In this Levi's factory, which was situated in Bangladesh, the most workers which were there were underage. They were basically children. So basically there was child labor on rampant in this factory. So when there was a notice which was given to the company with regards to their practices, it was realized on the further investigation that most of these people came from very poor families and therefore there were no other means of livelihood for these families. In such a case, it was realized that if these kids or if these children do not work, they would practically starve to death. So the company of Levi's came up with a practical solution. The children had to work for a limited hours, but also they made sure that they built a school where after they are done with their work or before they are done with their work, they first go to the school and then they start working or vice versa. And this solution itself was considered to be as the CSR activity. Now let's look into the second model, which is also known as the Archie Carroll model, but very famously it's also known as the pyramid model. The Carroll CSR model mainly focused into the various social responsibility and how much attention should be given to each of this responsibility. So if we look into this pyramid, the pyramid goes from the larger acquiring a larger area to acquiring a smaller area. We have seen a similar pyramid in a food pyramid as well. Now, looking into this pyramid model, we see that a company should firstly focus on making profits. The next stage is when a company legally obliges by the company laws, and therefore the next stage is to look into the legal aspects that the company follows all the legal obligation of the company. Okay. The third portion focuses on the fact that the company has the ethical obligation towards the company and its stakeholder. And the last remaining portion focuses on the fact that the company should give back to the society, that is the philanthropic aspect of the model. Another model of CSR which is known as the concrete circle model. Now, according to this concrete circle model, we see that it is similar to the pyramid model, but instead of pyramid, here we have this concrete circles. Now, according to this model, a large portion of CSR should be given to the philanthropic or for the betterment of the people and the society. A little smaller should be because of the ethical reason. The ethical reason as to why the CSR activity is conducted. A little further than that, because of the legal reason why they are doing it. Okay. And lastly, the economic reason or the reason for profit. Here, if you try to compare the pyramid model and the concrete circle model, it's pretty much the opposite of each other. In the concrete model, the large portion is allotted for the philanthropic aspect, but in the pyramid model, the large portion is allotted to the economic aspect. So it's going in the ascending and the descending order. The next model is also known as the environmental integrity and community health model. Now, this was developed by an economist called as Redman, and this is a model which was formulated regulated in the USA. Now, according to this model, the only responsibility of the company with regards to the CSR activities should be towards the environment and health issues. When it comes to the environmental aspect of this whole model, we here learn the concept of greenwashing, which will be dealing in the later chapter of business and ecology. But giving a fair example over here, the concept of greenwashing is a negative terminology when it comes to the environment and the business ecology. So we'll get into the concept of greenwashing later in the chapter of business and ecology. The next model is known as the corporate citizen model. Now, in this corporate citizen model, a company is expected to be a good corporate citizen who satisfies four conditions. Now, first condition is that it has to make a satisfactory performance, not by ethical standards or labor standard, but by the way of economic sustainability. Again, the ethical action and behavior is also considered, but the main goal is to produce higher standard of life and to improve the quality of life. This is done so that the demand of the company grows and it encourages a lot of investors to invest in such a company. The last model is also known as the stakeholder model. Now, according to this model, the company believes that the only mission of the firm is to maximize profit. The nature of the CSR is such that it is dominated by moral obligation and not self-interest. So, in such a model, the corporate behavior basically motivated by self-interest and should have the ability to transform the good. So basically you are having self-interest, but in that self-interest you are transforming the society for good. So in a way there is profits which are happening, but for the humanitarian activities itself. Now let's look into the Indian model. Now under the Indian model we have two basic models. First is the Gandhian model or the Gandhi model, which highly depends on the trusteeship and to giving back to the society. Basically, whatever society gives you, the love and the money the society gives you, you should make sure, the company should make sure it gives the similar vibe back to the society. And the second model is known as the statistical model. Now, the Association of Chamber of Commerce, and this was the initiation of the Association of Chamber of Commerce and the MCA or the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. It came about due to an international summit, and during this summit they spoke about the advocating of CSR and adoption of CSR in a socialistic model and a mixed economic framework. The main focus of this statistical model is on the labor and the environmental law. Now, in today's chapter, we learnt about various models of CSR. That's all for today's chapter. I'll see you all in the next chapter. Thank you.